this training related to business communication. And in today's session, we are going to emphasize more on presentation skills. All right. So I welcome you to another session of business communication, wherein in today's session, we are going to discuss more related to the presentation skills. So before we do that, if you remember, in the last week, we were talking about good writing skills. We also emphasized on how do we write a good agenda, how can we write an effective MOM so that we can present it in front of the organization or wherever we are working, we can utilize our skills. So can we do this activity right now? Can I request you all to discuss on the topic? Let us have a group discussion, and I'm going to share the agenda so that let me see how much content you are having in your mind related to the informations that are there available in the organization or probably in the open area. In the current scenario, how much information do you have related to this hot burning topic related to COVID-19, the pandemic that is spreading, the COVID virus, the coronavirus, which is in its second wave. So let us do a group discussion first related to what we are going to talk, discuss, understanding agenda, sharing the agenda, and then having a meeting. And this will be your activity for your evening time so that you can draft the MOM and share it with us. After the group discussion, consider this group discussion as a meeting, and then we are going to draft the MOM. All right. So let us start this. Let us have a group discussion first, and then we can move ahead with the today's session. All right. So may I request you all to unmute your speakers? If possible, do present yourself in case if you have good internet connectivity and if you are at a comfortable place, do show up in your video form. Otherwise, I am okay even if I hear your voice. The agenda is how do we fight or how can we spread awareness related to corona, how one can safeguard ourselves or protect others from the infection of this particular deadly virus. So let us have a proper understanding. How much do we know? How can we proceed ahead? And how can we solve this particular problem from individual point of view? Of course, government is taking necessary steps, but as an individual, what steps should be taken from our end in order to safeguard our health? All right. So the platform is open for each one of you to discuss agenda to fight against coronavirus, spread awareness individually. Now let us begin this.
By maintaining a social distancing and wearing a mask and sanitizing, ma'am.
All right. So Tamil says that we should maintain social distancing. We should regularly wear masks and also keep sanitizing ourselves. All right. Okay. So this is the common thing. But why people are not following these three things? My question to you, Tamil, or even to the other participants. This is now over a year.
Ma'am, because they are not used to it, ma'am.
Okay, they are not used to it. So again, this is second question which is raised by me to all the participants along with Tamil. Do you think from a year the things that we are trying to install or instill in the mind of the people that yes, wearing mask is important for their health, majorly for the protection of your own life as well as the life of your family members. Do you think wearing mask is such a difficult task?
Yeah, ma'am. Wearing a mask for a long time is suffocating, ma'am.
Okay. But why to wear a mask when you are at home? I see Deepika wanted to say something. Yes, Deepika.
Ma'am, can you repeat the question, ma'am?
See, the question, Deepika, is Do you think wearing mask at home is necessary when
Yes,
you know that family members are
yes,
all
ma'am.
COVID?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
ma'am. Yes.
Why?
Uh,
Can you share your opinion? Can you share your piece of information with us?
Ma'am, unknowingly or knowingly, we don't know whether we have corona or not. So our surrounding areas, like our friends or our neighbors or our family members, should not get that symptoms. Like so, we need to cover up with masks so that we can avoid spreading that corona. So in
Okay.
my point of view, we should wear a mask and we should sanitize our hands, or whenever we are going outside, we need to sanitize our each and everything so that we cannot spread. We should not spread to others, and we should we should
Even stop the infection
yes,
affecting our
ma'am.
body. That is
Yes,
what you
ma'am.
wanted, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, very wonderful, good. So
uh,
Deepika says that yes, it is utterly important, utmost important, and necessary for each one of us to follow the instructions that are stated by the government. The ordinance that is passed by the government should be followed. Tamil also agreed. But my question is, what if? What if there are six people or four people living in one single room and where there is no proper ventilation? Don't you think wearing mask continuously can be too suffocating?
Yes, ma'am.
So can I get the opinion from the other two participants? I expect an answer either from Supriya or Lavanya. This is my next question. In a place, generally we all know that we all, once when we are living in cities, these days the cities are becoming thickly and densely populated, and as the population increases, in one single room, probably in one BHK, or in one, even not even in one BHK, in one single room there are a couple of people who are living. So they are trying to adjust, continuously wearing masks where there is no proper ventilation, where there is no free flow of air. So what they should do, how can they keep themselves safe? Yes, Lavanya and Supriya want to hear from you. Yes, dear.
Continuously wearing mask is suffocated only, but by going for Ayurvedic medicine, like taking a steam every day in the morning, and taking the kashaya, which we used to take in the early ages, that helps them to give the energy for them, so they can come over of this now.
Okay, so wonderful statement given by Supriya that we should go back to our roots. When we were talking about our ancient medicine and the way they used to treat all these diseases was by having a healthy and hygienic lifestyle. So probably we should once again go back to our roots. We have to emphasize on doing regular exercise, probably pranayam, yoga, and the other respiratory exercises, so that we can keep ourselves healthy, fit, and fine. And apart from that, instead of drinking tea and coffee, we should go back to once again those kadha, kasaya, as stated in her mother tongue. But, we should go back to these roots. Wonderful, wonderful, Supriya. Thanks for sharing that. Now, the last question for this agenda is: do you think government is really taking necessary steps and action? Now, this is my
Is
last question from each one of you. I want some statement, some or the other opinion from each one of you.
is
Anyone can start. Yes,
government
please.
is taking a good action, but where the intermediates are there, they are misusing the steps, like bed booking and bed blocking and all. Since they are doing, even government are getting a bad names, so the middleman should not do such activities and all, and they have to help the others who got the COVID, and they have to support even the government also.
So Supriya states that intermediaries who are here intervening and trying to embezzle money, trying to make money even in this worst situation where patients are suffering without beds, where hospitals are there with beds, but again, the beds are getting booked in advance. Then unless and until we don't pay high amount, we will not be given or provided that bed. So of course, the middlemen or the intermediaries, the one who are the nasty people, they should really step back, and government should also take certain actions in order to eliminate these middlemen. Wonderful, very good. What about the other person? Yes, I would like to hear from others too. So, Sunanda, can I hear something from you, Deepika and Tamil? Can I get your opinions? Yes.
Ma'am, in some places like uh, suppose if we take from this where I live in Telangana, so here the government is not at all taking precautions, or not at all supposed to take medications to the poor families. So
Okay.
they are suffering a lot. In my
Okay.
point of view, each and everything is important for the government, but people at last people should not suffer at all. So they are not supposed to um, take take the precautions for the poor families, like other states are giving. I mean, like other CMs are very much enthusiastically they are performing their duties, but this CM is not at all taking the tasks, or not at all seeing the poor people. So it is a bit disturbing for us.
Okay.
So
So, if I put it in a very short and in nutshell, what Deepika wanted to say is, government must categorize the population into the one who can afford medication and the one who cannot afford medication. The one who cannot afford medication, government should step one step ahead, and they should provide all the necessary medical aid facility to all those people who are financially not so sound. The one who are financially sound, of course, they can afford the medication and they can approach not only the government but also the private medical institution. Whereas the poor, the one who are needy, they are the one who are left over. So therefore, these people who are not properly taken care, government need to take some different kind of step to extend their support so that everyone can be treated in equal way. Government is made for the people, and if people are suffering, that means there doesn't mean any sense of having the democracy. So therefore, wonderful statement by Deepika. Yes, each government, probably at some other states, some city like CMs are very active. They are trying to understand, probably for the vote bank, probably for the coming upcoming elections. They all are planning different things. But yes, even in once when they are doing so, with the background motto of seeking the favor of the people, but ultimately they are extending their aid and assistance for the betterment of the society. Wonderful, great statement given by Deepika. So, can I hear something from
Um,
Tamil and Sunanda? Yes, Tamil.
yeah, ma'am. Government, according to me, government had taken the precautions, ma'am, because they many virologists had suggested that second wave may come, but the government didn't took any actions, ma'am, and there are many shortages in vaccines and medications too.
So the government should be very proactive. They should now counter check the mistakes that they had committed in the past. The common mistake is they did not identify how many of the patients are really affected by the virus. Where are they? What are they doing? And in case if this spread, what is going to happen? So second wave, yes, of course, it was very well informed, told, and everybody was knowing, and that was the reason why vaccination, everybody, not only in India, not only the health minister of India, but also across the country, like globally, the doctors and even the one who were into medicine. They all tried their best to bring out the vaccine, and vaccine has come rightly the right time. Of, of course, we failed to generate the number of vaccines that is required by Indian population. With such a huge population of 130 crore people, that is 1.3 billion, as per the record of the government, which can be more than 1.42. So we need to really look into these matters. Government should also take care of this, and they should have taken proactive steps. But somewhere they have failed, and their failure is now paid by paid back by the lives of the people who are sacrificing, who are dying, who are unknowingly, without doing anything wrong, they are suffering because of this, and then leaving their family members. It is so hard to hear this. Very well stated, Tamil. Last statement from Sunanda. If you can speak, dear. Sunanda, if you can unmute your speaker and if you can present your opinion. I think Lavanya has left us, so I want to hear from Sunanda. What is your opinion, dear? Do you think government is really taking good steps? So I see that she is unable to present her opinion. Anyways, you can chat, you can let us know about your opinion. In case if you can open up your speaker and if you can present, we will be more than happy to hear from you, your side of or your point of understanding related to what actually the government is doing and so. All right. So let us congratulate each one of us. Kudos to each one of you, because this is what is going to happen if we do not prepare. Now, why did I start this particular session with a group discussion? The reason is, as we were discussing last time, to be a good writer, to present your agenda in a proper way, I always go back to those 7 pillars of communication, which says clarity should be there, conciseness should be there, the information that we are sharing should be correct, there has to be coherence, there has to be the correctness of that particular information along with the completeness of information, and finally when we talk, it has to be very well presented in a courteous way. So whenever we talk about those 7 C's, now in this particular C, when we are talking about the group discussion, there was one C which was missing. That is the evidences and proof. If I give you at least 2 days time, at least 24 hours time to have this group discussion, do you think the way you have presented right now without prior practice and presentation, would this be different? Will it be really different if we get the time to prepare and to practice? What
Yes,
is
ma'am.
your, yes, of course, isn't it? Now, that is the crux. Whenever we talk about effective presentation says know what you have to present. Whenever we talk about good writing, the same philosophy, the same funda, the same logicalities will even enter whenever we are presenting, because communication is happening from the sender to the receiver. There is an audience. Now, whenever we talk about group presentations or whenever we talk about an effective presentation, we all know that it could be presented either by one single individual or it could be presented by certain group of people, maybe a team. Now, in order to make you understand the difference between these two different words, group, the common motto will not be the same. Each one will be living with different understanding. They may be coming from different demographies. They may be belonging to different organizations. Their vision and mission may change. Their objectives will also be different. That is the reason why, though they are speaking on one single topic, but as they are coming from the different backgrounds, from the different organization, they are grouped together. That is the reason we call it as group. Whereas whenever we talk about teams are those where they all will have one single objective. And the objective would be based on very simple things such as vision, accordingly drafted mission. So vision, mission, objective, when these all are aligned with each other, we call the presentator as the team. So in your college, whenever you are giving presentation, they don't say it as a team, they say it as group presentation. Why do they call it as group presentation? Reason is you all are living in different families, who belong to different demographics, who belong to different economic background, who come from different places. You all individually live your life in a different way. But when you are coming to the college and when you are giving the presentation, your team might have worked on one objective. I repeat, your team might have worked on one single objective. But when you perform, you don't perform it as a team. You all do perform based on your level of understanding, based on your information, the content that you are having in your mind, and apart from that, your own abilities. So therefore, when we talk about group presentation, we all need to understand the talking about group presentations or team presentation or effective presentation, we all need to understand proper preparation will help us a lot. It is very important to give our best, to showcase our best. If we do not showcase our best, it will be difficult for us to give the best. So let us move ahead towards the topic that we are going to share. But before that, as I promised, I am going to help you people with a certain basic pronunciation. All right. As I promised last time, that I would like to improve your pronunciation too. So let me help you out with the common pronunciation of certain words. Though the list is very exhaustive, but these are the common words which are wrongly stated or wrongly pronounced whenever we present our opinion. So the first word is says. Generally, people have the habit of saying says, but actually it is not says, it is says, as in S-E-Z, S-E-Z, says. Often or often. Please remember, many a times I hear the American way of pronouncing this particular word as often, and they emphasize on t, which is wrong. Even if it is the British way of pronouncing, that is T completely silent, often, often. But when we talk about the American way, it is often. T will not be completely highlighted, or stress on the sound of T should be eliminated. The next word, etc. Now, most of the time, they do get confused. Generally, I see people getting confused between the word etc. and extra. They both are different. So ETC, you should never say it as ETC, all right? Because that's again abbreviation. You cannot say ETC. Instead of saying ETC, use it as etc., etc., etc. Remember this. The next is women. Women. Many a times there are different sounds that I often hear related to this particular word WOMEN. Woman, when we talk about singular, WOMAN, woman. But when we talk about the plural, it's women, women, women. The next, police, police. This is the common word that I hear whenever I travel to the places, and then they say police. Police is coming. It's not police, it's Police, police, police. Keep this in your mind. The next, restaurant. So whenever we break this word, we should remember they are divided into two syllables. The first one is rest and then tron. Tron. Not the last word t should be emphasized. Restaurant, restaurant, restaurant. Keep this in your mind. The next is poem. Often I hear poem, which is wrong. Poem is a wrong pronunciation. Poem, poem. Sound is short. Whenever we emphasize the second syllable, they are divided into two parts. The first is po and the second is m. So therefore, when you join these two sounds, po and m, it becomes poem or poem. All right. The next, iron, often heard wrongly by many of you. You might have come across people who say as iron. I went to the iron shop in order to get my dress pressed. So it's not iron, it is iron. The sound of R will completely remain low or bit silent. So therefore, please remember, it's not iron. I did not give my clothes to iron it or iron it. For ironing, I did not give my clothes. Rather, it should be iron, iron. The next one is coupon. Many of you must have heard your friends saying it as coupon. Again, wrong. It's coupon. Coupon. The next one, again, my favorite, vehicle. This is not vehicle, it's vehicle. 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 Keep this in your mind. Then next, the different categories, like you might be reading novels. Some of you may like reading novels like related to mystery, related to horror, related to love, interest, maybe self-help books, the different kinds of genre. Many a time, this is wrongly produced as genre, which is again wrong. Genre, genre, genre. Keep this in your mind. Genre. All right? Genre. The next is video. This is divided into three different syllables. V-D-O. Video. Video. Comment. Many a time. Comment. Wrongly said, wrongly uttered, wrongly pronounced. Change it. Instead of comment, start saying from now comment. Comment. The next, hotel. Hotel. Again, wrongly uttered, wrongly pronounced. It's not hotel or hotel. It's hotel. 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 Table. Again, table. Keep this in your mind. It's table. Breakfast. It's not breakfast. 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 Pizza. Again, many of you might have corrected your pronunciation related to pizza because most of you might be having like different tastes right now. Now, many of you who have lived in cities, generally, you might be tasting different varieties of pizza, right? So the next is sour. Sour, sour. I don't remember the right pronunciation, which often I hear. They call it as sour, as sore. Sore is a different word. All right. When it is something which is very painful, then we use the word sore, which actually is produced as or pronounced as sore. Rather, the taste that we are defining is sour. Sour. The food that we eat. So, for example, if you are having dosa or idli, you also have the supplement or a bowl of chutney. Instead of bowl, it's bowl. Keep this in your mind. It's not the bowl, it's bowl. Bowl. It's not receipt. Many a times, receipt, wrongly pronounced. Receipt. 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 The next one, debt. B remains silent. It's not debt, rather it is debt, debt. And the final one, word, word, word. not where. Keep this in your mind. It's word. So with this, I believe I have helped you to improve your pronunciation to the common words that are said, uttered in our day-to-day life. Hope you all heard me. I will believe that you all are going to practice it to bring it in your performance so that you can definitely improve your pronunciation and speaking skill. So why pronunciation? Not to forget, we were discussing about effective presentation, and in order to give effective presentation, you should work out on your pronunciation. You have to work out on your vocabulary. You have to work out on your writing skills, because based on the information that you're going to write, based on the content that you have designed and developed, based on the findings that you have identified, only then you would be able to give the best presentation. So moving ahead, what are the things that we are going to discuss in today's class as well as in tomorrow? In today's class, we are going to discuss about the way that the people should prepare themselves for the presentation. Many a times I hear people saying that if we are talking about presentation, there has to be some aid. Please keep this in your mind. Whatever you speak in front of others, if there is a listener and if you are speaking, in fact, you are presenting. So presentation can be with aids and without aids. So about the aid, we are going to discuss tomorrow. But without aid, do we present? Of course, we do present. What is it that we have to take care whenever we are giving our presentation without any aids? So let us discuss in detail about the basic commonalities that are there when we talk about the presentation skill. So here is the quote which I really enjoy speaking, talking, and sharing every now and then whenever I talk about presentation. Great speakers aren't born, they are trained. Each one of us can train ourselves. When we are born, we don't even remember, or we are not blessed with a language. When we are kids, we are trained, tuned, taught how to speak. You may be told, you may be taught, you may be encouraged by your teachers to speak different languages. We are blessed to be Indian because here we get the understanding of minimum three languages, minimum three. So we should be really thankful to God for giving us birth in this beautiful country called India. Otherwise, at other places, people often limit to only one language or probably to two. But here in India, you will see everybody, every individual will be aware of minimum three languages if they go to school, if they take proper education, apart from the illiterates, apart from the people who never had been to college or school, who did not enter into the school, apart from them, rest others, we all are blessed and we all have learned and practiced three different languages. While practicing these languages, what is it that we understand? We understand how to share our opinion. We understand how to share our feelings and emotions. And that is the reason why all the great speakers, they are not born as speakers, rather they are trained. And each one of you, you can train yourself to become a good speaker. And that's the main challenge. And let me tell you, there is a report, there is an ISHE report which talks about that AISHE, All India School of Higher Education, decides that most of the students who have completed their 6th to 10th class, from classes 6 to 10th, when they are asked to speak English, even though if they have studied in English medium school, you will see only 32% of the population is bit confident. I'm not saying completely confident. I'm using the word a bit confident. Rest others, They remain completely nervous. They often hesitate to present their opinion. There is lot of hesitation. With poor confidence, they do not present themselves. So keep this in your mind that whenever we talk about any kind of information that we are willing to share, we have to practice. We have to train ourselves. We have to tune ourselves. And for that, what are the things that we should keep in our mind whenever we talk about presentation skills? The first and the most important thing is fear. Get rid of fear. Now, this may sound a bit awkward, isn't it? When I say get rid of fear, fear comes automatically. Fear generates instantly. When you are asked to speak something, you are certainly nervous because you don't know the audience, you don't know their understanding level, you don't even know what they are going to present, how they are going to approach. And then finally, when they are speaking, they speak it in such a way wherein they all tend to look at you for lots and lots of information, for the loads of information, and that creates anxiety, that creates nervousness, and that leads to fear element. So let us understand that if we are talking about presentation skill, if we are really willing to improve our presentation skill, the first and the most important thing that we should do is avoid the element called as fear. How can we eliminate this? Remember the tip: content, communicate. If you have a content and if you know how to communicate, certainly you will improve your level of confidence. The first and the most important thing that you have to do is work out on your content. And that is the reason why, after knowing about communication, we started emphasizing on writing skills. The better your content is, you are going to present and communicate in a better way. And because of good communication, definitely your level of confidence will increase. So, the confidence, the better the confidence, more the confidence, lesser would be the fear. You might have seen in your classroom a student who misses class every now and then. When a teacher asks question to that particular student, he or she will tremble, isn't it? They will become anxious. They don't know the answer because they did not attend the classes on regular basis. And that is the reason why the moment they are asked question, you will see they start sweating. Even though they might have studied very well, they might have and as they did not listen to their teacher, so what has happened? They could not connect. They lost their connection. And due to this loss of connection, what has happened? They tend to lose their confidence. Can we overcome this confidence? Of course, we can overcome this confidence. How can we overcome this confidence? Overcome, or how can we work out on our confidence? How can we overcome the fear element? How can we get rid of hesitation? One, work out on your content. Work on your content. After writing the content, practice. This is a beautiful statement. Practice makes everyone perfect. If you practice, each one of us can improve ourselves. The biggest challenge is, do we really practice? How much time do we cater? How much time do we spend on improving ourselves? Now, when we talk about improvement, say for example, when you see a pimple on your face, immediately you rush to a store, probably a medical store or a cosmetic store, to buy either some or the other treatment for that small pimple. And we want to avoid, we want to get rid of it as early as possible. because we are not looking good. We are not looking beautiful with that pimple on our face. The similar kind of pimple is even within our inner heart. How to get rid of it? Practice. The only and the best way is practice. Please practice. If you practice, you can certainly improve yourself. Work out on content so that you can communicate very well to eliminate this first element, which is called as fear. You won't be afraid if you have the content in your hand, right? So the second one, what are the reasons for this anxiety? As we have already discussed, many a times, even though when you have prepared your content is very well drafted, beautifully presented, the presentation is there, the notes is available with you, everything is there. But meanwhile, because of anxiety, because of this negative element called anxiety, what happens? You lose your control, you tend to become nervous, you will be in two situations, either to face the audience or leave the audience, right? And that is the reason many a times you will see people standing in front of mic without uttering a single word. I still remember one of my friend, Upasana, who was doing BCom in the same college where I was the student, that is Vanita Mahavidyalaya at Hyderabad. And this girl, Upasana, she was very good in all the other activities. When I say in all the other activities, she could write very well. She was rank holder. She could participate in all the other activities except speaking. You give her extempore, she cannot participate, she cannot speak. You give her the opportunity to present presentations, she will fumble. Many a times she will babble what the word she is going to speak, you cannot even understand. All right. And then the sound, the different cliches, the different redundancy could be easily identified and heard by the listeners. So why Upasana was so much scared? Because she was anxious. And we all tend to become anxious. Now, the big question, how do we eliminate anxiety from us? Very simple tip. Very, very simple. You need to work out on your breathing exercise. The moment once when you're going and standing in front of the audience, the most important thing is breathe in minimum 5 to 10 times. Take lots of oxygen in your body, release the carbon dioxide, take in oxygen, release carbon dioxide, and then remember, smile. The moment once when you are smiling, as I said, I don't know how many of you have practiced this, but moment you are smiling, nothing else comes in your mind except positivity. So after this breathing exercise, once when you are smiling and going and standing in front of the audience, start with the simple question or a simple statement wherein you find yourself very confident. That helps you to connect with your audience and to overcome anxiety, to overcome the feeling of nervousness. Please remember, in case if this doesn't work, always remember to carry with a backup plan. If my plan is not going to work, even after breathing exercise, even with a smile when I stand in front of the audience and I could not present my piece of information confidently, what next? I must have my backup plan with me and I should be ready with plan B and plan C. Always remember, with only plan A, you're going to fail. Must always keep yourself ready with multiple backup plans and then know about the subject. As I said, content does magic. It is the magic portion that is going to act and do wonders in your life. Many of us, we do not value content, and that is the reason why the connect with the audience misses. So content matters a lot. If you have the content, you are the one who's going to prepare, practice, and speak with great confidence. All right, and focus on the attention of the audience. So these are the two things. This everybody knows, that whenever we talk about presentation, it is something that we are defining, something that we are sharing with the audience. And when we talk about effectiveness, we should work out on connecting with the audience so that the desired result can be approached or can be seen, can be witnessed. So let us now reach up to the conclusion that whenever we talk about effective presentation, we should overcome anxiety. And how can we overcome anxiety? Point one, work out on the way you're going to present, work out on your content, be with complete confidence. And that confidence comes with two C's: content and communication. Know who your audience is. Do some kind of survey. Try to identify who is going to listen to me. How much information do they have? How much is the knowledge level that they are having in their brain? And how can I create that awe impact in their mind? That aha moment was going to come in your in your life if you do identify who the audience is. Many a times you know very well that you are going to give this presentation in front of externals, in front of your teachers, teachers who know the information in and out. So, and then in front of them, if you try to fool them, if you try to tweak and change and cheat your information, what is going to happen? People will hold you, people will identify that you are lacking into these things. So, knowing the audience is always very, very important. When you know your audience, you can prepare accordingly, you can present accordingly, you can understand what do they like. So, for example, when I talk about one of my teacher, I still remember Shashikala ma'am. Shashikala ma'am, whenever she used to ask her to prepare the presentation, I'm talking about 1996, 1997, 1998. At that time, computers were not at all available. Even desktop was not available at each and every place. So during that period, when she asked us to give the presentation, I still remember the different color chart papers that we used to buy, draw sketches, draw the diagram, and then present in front of the class. You all are lucky because of the uh, intervention of technology. Your life has become cakewalk. Now, if any teacher asks you to give the presentation, you first prepare your presentation. Instead of working on content, you people take it in a wrong way. You prepare your presentation, then based on presentation, the slides, you try to add certain sentences here and then you present. Are you doing it rightly? Absolutely wrong. And that is the reason why you fail in your presentation. Don't take me in a wrong way, but this is the mistake which is generally done by all of us. In fact, the right way or the right technique is prepare the content. Remember the three important questions: what, why, how. Note it down somewhere. Whenever you are going to prepare the presentation, you should know what is it that I'm going to prepare, why should I prepare and present, and how can I present it in an effective way. Once when you identify these three elements, then the fourth question is who? That is my audience. Who is going to listen to me? And once when the content is there, then accordingly, very beautifully, you can design even the slides, the presentation. If you are using technology, if you are using any aid, if you are using any assistance. So if you remember the four major questions, the first three will help you to design your content. Remember, what, why, how. What, why, how. And the fourth one, who is going to listen to my presentation. That will help you to overcome all your nervousness, anxiety, you will be very sound in your presentation, full of confidence, and certainly the way you're going to present will win confidence, will even win the positive appreciation from the other end. All right. So let us talk about the next part related to presentation. Why we should give a presentation? What is the purpose of giving the presentation? Always remember, presentations are made either to inform or to persuade or to educate. You might have seen your teachers using presentation in the classes. Why are they using presentation? So that they can hook your knowledge, the information that is there in your mind, so that they can hook up your understanding level, so that they can hook up your attention level. Moment they are using presentation, it is going to connect you. Now, the same thing that we are doing today, right now, I'm sharing this slide with you. You are listening to my sound. I am sitting in Delhi. You are there in some other place. And we have bridged this gap of 1600 kilometers with this simple technology, that is through Let's Connect, sharing of the presentation. So this is the miracle that is seen, witnessed by all of us because of the intervention of technology, because of the use of technology and application of technology. But in case if I fail in presentation, in case if I find it difficult to share my presentation, will I be able to speak? Can I speak for an hour or so? Can I win the confidence of my listeners? Can I hook their attention? Will they be able to understand? This is what the major question is whenever we talk about presentation. That is the reason you inform through presentation, you persuade, you approach, you try to get positive opinion from others related to your opinion. You come to a consensus. You try to bridge the gap, connect the dots with the help of your presentation by persuading others, by convincing others through negotiating your statement. And that is the beauty of presentation. And finally, you educate. Education matters a lot because unless and until we are not educated, we will not be able to have the information registered and restored in our memory box. So it is very important to understand why to give a presentation. Simple answer, we give presentation to inform the audience about the information, to persuade the audience so that they can respond, they can react according to our will, and finally to educate, to generate awareness, to create more information from unknown to known, and many a times from what is known to avoid and to add something new. Remember the three golden words that I'm using right now. If you really want to work in an organization, you should regularly work on this skill, which is called as unlearning, learning, relearning. There can be many people who are of your age. They may hear from you that you have attended this training session on the topic called as presentation. They'll say, are you a fool? Don't you know how to give a presentation? Oh, come on. You have wasted your 3 hours in listening to another one, another person, another lady who thinks that you are not good at presentation. You have wasted your money, you have wasted your time, you have wasted your energy. Something like this. But to be very honest, the way you're going to start preparing your presentation will be totally different from others from now on after this session, because now you understand that content is something which you have to prepare first. From that content, you're going to prepare your presentation slides, and then that is what you're going to exhibit, present, showcase whenever you are giving the presentation. You are now going to think more about your audience. You are now going to think what I have to prepare, why I have to prepare, and how can I prepare it in the best desirable way so that I can be the best, isn't it? Now, this philosophy, if you can really apply in your life, you can do miracle. You can do wonders. Nobody will leave your session in the mid. Nobody would say that I don't want to listen to him or her because she's just reading the slides. You're not reading the slides. You're not at all helping people see what they know. You're trying to come up with something different, something unique, which they all are keen to learn, explore, and know more from you. So always remember, all the participants, whosoever are attending today's session, if we talk about presentation, say for example, tomorrow, if I have to give the same delivery of the topic, I may not be using the same slides. Why? Because my audience may change. If my audience are going to change, I cannot use the same slides. If my audience remain the same, but they are of different age group, again, my slides are going to change. My way of communication is going to change. The information that I'm sharing is going to change. I know the people who are listening to me are pretty matured. They are the one who are looking for bright career. In a year or two, they are going to enter into their professional life, and that's the reason they all are keen to know what is that professional way of taking up the presentation. So the most important thing that you all know right now is work out on content first, accordingly prepare your slide, and then present it in front of the audience. This is the right way of preparing your presentation. Not that what you have done in your college or in your early life, looking for these slides on Google, point one. When you get different slides, different presentations, which are already prepared by somebody else, you tweak the design, you change the color and font, and then accordingly you write your name, and then without knowing the content, without knowing the background of the presentation, you come and you start reading these slides in front of your audience. Do you think with this way you can hook up with your audience? I want to know from you all, were you doing the way I have stated right now, or your approach was prepare presentation slides and then to present? Can we have a small discussion for a minute, for 1 minute? Can we have this discussion? Do you prepare your presentation first and then work out on what you want to say? Or do you prepare the content first and then prepare your presentation? Can I know from you all? Yes, please.
Yeah, ma'am. I used to prepare the content first and then go for presentation.
Very good, Tamil. So, what is the difference that you find between you and your friends? Do you find any difference between your presentation, and your friends who prepare the presentation first and then they come up with their speech? Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. They used to just read the slides, ma'am.
And do you feel, do you find interest whenever somebody is reading the slides for you people?
No, ma'am.
Why?
They're just reading the slides, ma'am. They're not
And
giving the
probably you can,
information.
yes, probably you can read better than them, isn't it? Sometimes
Yeah,
you
ma'am.
read faster than them, isn't it? And sometimes when they read, they commit lot many spelling, pronunciation errors, and then you feel, look at him or her who can't even read the slide in a proper way. I have to listen to him when he or she is giving the presentation. Completely disconnected, isn't it, dear?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful, wonderful, Tamil. So I am really keen to see you giving your presentation tomorrow. What about the others? What about Supriya? What about Lavanya? What about Deepika? What about Sunanda? What was your approach? Certainly, you all are going to say that you prepare the content first. So my next question is, what is it that you are going to put in your content? May I know that? So how do you identify what and how much to put in the content? How do you judge? Remember, the tip is time given to present. Always remember. Okay. So if anybody asks how much do you take time to prepare your content, that is unlimited. But when you are talking about your presentation and from the content, when you are going to prepare your presentation, always remember time is the major element. You all should know how much time the other person has given to you to prepare and speak about your presentation. All right. So if you can identify the time, certainly you are going to plan accordingly and start preparing your presentation. Now, how are we going to divide our time? Our division of time will depend on these important elements. Determine the purpose. What is the purpose? Who my audience is? Do I have same kind of audience? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Say for example, when you are giving presentation in front of your class fellows, they all are students of same class. So their understanding level, probably some may be very good, some may be good, some may be laggards who don't have interest towards studies. So therefore, there may be certain people who showed this interest, right? But apart from them, rest others are having same kind of mindset. But there can be certain instances where you are giving presentation in a room with each audience having different mindset, with each audience having different understanding level. Say for example, you are preparing your pitch to sell a product. In an interview, if an interviewer asks you to take an object, say for example, take a pen and sell it to someone. Why chemistry? Why not zoology or biology? Why commerce? Why not business administration? So, how do you present yourself? It could be in front of one single individual, that is during interview. Many a times, when people are giving interview, they forget that they are giving presentation. They forget that interviewer is looking for your presentation. It could be with the help of technology, it could be face to face. When you are attending any personal interview, you should remember each interview is, in fact, a presentation. So you should know the background, who is coming to give or conduct the interview process, who is coming to take my interview, or of whom will I be conducting the interview. It could be both the ways. Sometimes you are the interviewer and sometimes you may be the interviewee. So in both the places, whenever you are stepping into the shoes of an interviewer or interviewee, remember, you are giving the presentation. So know the audience. That is important, because based on their understanding level, then you will divide your time. How much should I spend time on what to present? How much should I spend time on why to present? And how much should I spend time on how to present? How to present the content, why to present the content, what to present in the content. Is this clear with everyone? When you go ahead with this preparation, you come with the next divisions, that is related to plan the space. That is again very, very important. If you do not prepare yourself in a proper way, what is going to happen? You may either run short of your time. Say, for example, you have prepared a load of content. In fact, time given was 5 minutes, but the content that you have prepared will exceed 5 minutes. You may take 10 minutes time to present, you may take 15 minutes time to present. Now, what is going to happen? If you are exceeding time, you may say, ma'am, it's good. If we exceed time, people will say that, wow, look at her knowledge, look at her content, look at her skills. Wrong. If you are given 5 minutes, you should remember 5 minutes stands for 5 minutes. You cannot exceed your time limit. And in that 5 minutes, you have to start, explain, and conclude. In case if you run short of time, what is going to happen? People may say, stop now, your time is over. And probably you did not conclude well. Probably the complete explanation that you wanted to present is missing. And that is the reason why work out on the space. That means identify how much is there on your platter. Whether you are able to touch all the important points or not in the given stipulated time. If you start doing so, each time you're going to rehearse, you're going to work out with your clock, you're going to consider clock as your partner, because stopwatch will help you to identify how much time are you taking to prepare, present, and exhibit your skill. So, what do you think, Deepika? I really want to know from your end. You must be the one who might have conducted lot many presentations, isn't it? So, do you see people coming up with this preparation? What is your opinion? What is your intake?
I absolutely agree with you, ma'am. The time given sense, the time sense should be needed for each and every presentation who are going to present their skills.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. I absolutely agree with you, ma'am.
So, what I was trying to understand from you is, when you see people coming up with a presentation, as Tamil stated that there are her friends where when they give the presentation, they just read. So, similarly, do you find people who come with the presentation but they go on speaking and exaggerating and lengthening their sentence? Remember the wordiness that we were discussing while writing? The same wordiness you will see even when they are speaking, isn't it? And
Yes,
that
ma'am.
is killing, that creates boredom, that creates disinterest in the audience,
Audience. Yes,
right?
ma'am.
so
Yes,
so
ma'am.
can we eliminate this by doing this simple tip of breaking the time, applying this process, applying this step, and understanding how to present, what to present, and why to? Thank
Yes,
you,
ma'am.
Deepika, for sharing your opinion today. Now, the most important thing is, if we are willing to give a wonderful presentation, the thumb rule is know the keywords. Please remember, slides or whatever you are going to speak. If you are using technology, then you can refer the slides. If not using technology, if you're talking about the content that is there in your mind, remember the keywords. Keywords will help you to speak with great confidence. The flow of conversation. Do you remember we were talking about coherence? So similar, that coherence should be there even when we are presenting from one logical statement to the other logical statement. Do we connect properly or not? Do we really hook up with the audience understanding or not? And then flexibility should be there. You cannot be rigid. You cannot stand at one place. You cannot look at only one single audience. When I say flexibility, I'm talking about the body language that we should have. You have to work out on your body language. The tonation of your voice, where to raise, where to mellow down, where to be silent, when to ask questions, when to get the answers, when to ask question again, big challenge whenever we give presentation. You can ask question not to humiliate, but to interact. Generally, people ask question to show that, look, I know the answer, you don't know the answer. It's again wrong. The moment you insult, the moment you humiliate your audience, you are seeding disinterest in them. So don't ask questions of which the audience may not be knowing the answer. Try to ask certain questions where partially they can answer and partially they cannot, because partial answer will connect them with you to the speaker and they believe, I know this. Oh, look, I don't know this. So in this presentation, this information related to what I don't know, I will come to. Remember this tip. If you ask questions which are challenging to the audience, questions which create disinterest, that is through humiliation, should be eliminated, should be avoided. Even when you are presenting the slides, you can definitely ask questions, but don't challenge audience. I repeat this, do not challenge the knowledge of the audience, because if you challenge it, and in case if audience are those who may not be knowing the information, they certainly create disinterest. So know the level of audience. Once again, we are coming back to the information, who my audience is. Remember, whenever you are going to give presentation, these 4 questions matter a lot. What, why, how, and who. If you know this, you can really do wonders. And then comes the next part. After the time is known to you, how much is the given time within which I have to conclude my presentation, work out on simple technique, building rapport. How do you connect with your audience? You can introduce yourself by adding certain humor, by adding some kind of interesting facts, by adding certain interesting figure, so that the audience will feel that they know you very well. You know them very well. The connection should be there. The bonding should be there. If the connection misses, gone. You will lose the interest. So generate that interest. Whenever you start it with something, some heavy lines of emotion, bonding, expressions, connectivity, so that people would love to listen to you. People can participate in your presentation, can say that if you ask question, I will answer. If you are getting any kind of hitch, cliches in between, I will become the gap filler. I'm not going to challenge your knowledge. You should not challenge my knowledge. That is what the rapport building is. Know and let others know who you are, what you're going to present, and then develop that interest. And certainly, when you do that, what are you going to do? You're going to open up your presentation. As I said, always remember the presentation should be in the storytelling format. It should not be from some mid of the statement wherein there is no head and there is no tail. As we were talking about writing skills, wherein we have divided the paragraph into three. The first, intro and purpose, explanation, and then conclusion. Similar goes over here whenever we are talking about storytelling. Let the presentation be like a story so that when you are sharing your opinion, when you are sharing your information, each one of you should flow with your thought, should flow with your emotion, should flow with your statement, should walk into the same kind of understanding that you want to create. Say, for example, when I say in my class, when students are presenting, they do not work out on their body language. So, when I'm saying so, you can recall someone in your team, someone in your group who was very poor with the body language. You can connect those past experiences and you can say that, yes, I have seen someone similar kind of experience, even I do have. How do I overcome it? Is it only related to me? No, you're learning presentation skills not only for yourself but also for others. Always remember, a great communicator is a good leader. So if you are really building communication, certainly you are working on your leadership skill. So tomorrow when somebody presents, you're not going to only pinpoint at the errors. You will also help him or her in preparing the presentation, in giving the presentation, in presenting the presentation in a better approachable manner. Help him out or help her out in understanding how you can convert your presentation into a storytelling. How can you connect the understanding level of your audience? Would it be with the help of a video? Will it be with the help of such images? Or will it be with some anecdote? Anecdote means your past experiences, your past experiments that you have done, and what are the answers, what are the responses, what are the conclusions that you have derived out of it that you are going to present. The moment you do this, what is going to happen? You see, the audience will come to know about the topic. They will look for more information and it becomes easy for you to pursue it. It becomes easy for you to educate. It becomes easy for you to give your information and install that information in the mind of the audience. And that is the reason when we started, we did this group discussion. We have come to know that though government is taking corrective steps at certain places, still they are finding it difficult to change the mindset. Why people are not listening to government? They failed in their presentation skill. Why people are not worried about their health? They are failing in the presentation skill. Presentation doesn't mean standing in front of a projector, showing these slides and presenting your opinion. Interview is a presentation. When you talk to your family member, it's a presentation. A common interaction between two friends could be a presentation. It could be one to one, one to many, or many to many. Remember this. And in each instance, you have to work out on content. If you know the content, you can communicate, you can be very confident. And finally, for today's class, let us conclude that whenever we talk about presentation, the goals should be properly set. Remember the acronym that you all might have studied somewhere or the other in your business study class, or maybe in your personality development classes, or in some motivational videos. You might have seen the acronym SMART. What do we understand by the word SMART? It is used as an acronym which says specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. Your goals should be smart enough. Be very specific what you want to convey. Measure whether your audience can understand the shared information or not. Is it achievable? Are you really working on the content which can achieve your goal? Be realistic. Don't add superfluous information. Don't add unfamiliar words. Don't add jargon. Don't add too much of content. Limit it, restrict it, be realistic. And finally, time bound. The word T, time, matters a lot in our presentation. When we do this, we can do wonders. So with this, we are going to end up today's session. Can I request you all to prepare only 5 slides on any topic? On any topic. And can we start tomorrow's class through a presentation? You can send the presentation to me by evening or by tomorrow morning till 10:30 so that I can put it in my file. And whenever you are presenting, either you can present it on your own or I can be your helper. I can assist you in helping you to present the slide. Are you all ready to present your presentation? The time limit would be 2 minutes, not more than that. Only 2 minutes. Can you prepare 5 slides and present it for 2 minutes to make me understand how do you present, what do you present, and why you thought that that topic you should present? Can we do this? What is your opinion? Quickly in the chat box. I see 1S, 2S, 3S. All right. Okay. So wonderful. So can we have this as an activity for tomorrow? And then we will proceed with virtual presentation, visual presentation. How do we add infographic? What is the importance of infographic? And what are the other things, the other elements that people look into presentation that we are going to discuss tomorrow? Thank you very much for that quick yes as the response in the chat box. Lovely audience. So with this, I end up. You can share your question, you can share your feedback so that I can correct myself, I can improve myself, and I can provide you exactly what you are looking for. Thank you very much for attending today's session. God bless you all. Any kind of feedback that you want to give related to today's session, anything that you want to speak, convey, or would you like to sum it up in 1 or 2 sentences? Let us open up for that. Yes, please. So nothing from your end? Was the session interesting one, boring one? Could you learn something new? Can I get certain feedback from you all? Was this informative? Or do you all think that you have killed your 1 hour, 30 minutes time? So feedback is very important. See, it always encourages us. Thank you, Lavanya, for that beautiful line that it was very informative and you have enjoyed the class. Thank you very much. Thanks, Tamil, for that statement that yes, it was interesting and informative session. I will make sure that tomorrow's class will be more interesting and so that whenever you are giving any PowerPoint presentation, particularly by using the slides, how can you add more innovation and creativity into it? All right. So thank you very much for attending today's class. God bless you all. Do take care of yourself, do take care of your family members, and have a fantastic day ahead and a happy weekend. God bless you all. See you tomorrow, sharp at the same time, 11 o'clock. Thank you very much for attending today's class. See you all. Bye.